Graham Bunton and Michaeli Nalon of the Registrar Stakeholder Group, and I'm going to ask them some questions about the Registrar Stakeholder Group. So hello, Graham.
Hello.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the role and remit of the Registrar Stakeholder Group?
Sure. So the Registrar Stakeholder Group is the structure inside of ICANN, specifically within the generic name supporting organization, that represents all ICANN accredited registrars, is the short and technical answer to that. Registrars are companies that typically sell domain names to the domain buying public.
Thank you. Michaeli, can you provide an overview of the membership and how someone would become a member of the Registrar Stakeholder Group if they'd like to be a member?
So members of the Stakeholder Group are ICANN accredited registrars. So in order to become a member, they have to have a contract with ICANN. The members vary from very, very small companies with only one or two staff through to multi-billion-dollar companies that would have literally thousands of employees. We have registrars who are purely retail. We have wholesale registrars who, in other words, they don't sell directly. And then we have other companies that would be focusing more on trademark and IP interests.
And why would you recommend becoming a member of the Registrar Stakeholder Group?
Essentially, the Registrar Stakeholder Group is the voice of registrars within the ICANN process. If you want to influence the policies, if you want to make sure that your business operates within ways and means that you are happy with, then you need to voice that somehow. And the Registrar Stakeholder Group is the vehicle for that within the ICANN structure.
Can I add to that?
Yes, please.
Sure. So there's a couple pieces that make it worthwhile beyond just participating in policy development and controlling your future that way. Registrar Stakeholder Group offers value to members in a number of ways, including participating on our mailing list, where we have discussions about what's going on, and then things like our tech ops group, where we get the more technical people from the community together to discuss problems that we all have and try and find best solutions to those sorts of things. And then the last sort of weird bit is there's a couple pieces in our contracts with ICANN that specify the Registrar Stakeholder Group makes choices. And so by not participating, you miss out on engaging in that contractual piece too.
Okay. Thank you, Graham. Can you talk a little bit more about what issues the Registrar Stakeholder Group focuses on in the long term?
So in the long term, we're generally just concerned about a secure and stable DNS in which we can operate our companies, primarily sell domain names. And so most registrars are sort of focused on that. And so there are policy activities inside of ICANN that are sort of present, but it's really about ensuring that goal long term. Some of the stuff that we work on sort of consistently are things like domain transfers, which are important between all of our businesses. I bet Michaeli has more things to add to that.
I mean, a lot of it would be down to how the policies impact your day-to-day business. So, for example, if a policy is introduced back in, say, some were introduced, say, 2001 or 2002, maybe it solved an issue then. Is that still an issue today? Is that something that needs to be revised? Maybe there's a new threat. I mean, as Graham says, security, we want to make sure that our customers are able to use those domain names effectively, and that they have some confidence that they can choose the best choices, make the best choices for their own business. So the kind of policies we would look at are the ones that impact us and our clients.
So I'd say that registrars typically don't go for a lot of policy navel gazing. They're generally pretty operationally focused, and so that's where you find us participating in the space.
That's helpful. And Graham, if you had one piece of advice for a newcomer to the ICANN scene, what would it be?
So my advice to a newcomer would be something like, look, it's daunting. It takes a while to figure out these meetings and these spaces and how people interact. And so I would do two things. One is just get up to a mic at some point, or press the button and say something. So getting over that first hurdle and realizing that you can say things and it's okay and no one dies. The other is to make sure that you're just talking to people in the hallways, because a lot of ICANN is not just the sessions, it's the interactions with people and it's the relationships you build here that allow you to influence things and get things done.
Michaeli, do you have anything to add to that for advice for newcomers?
I think I fully agree with what Graham was saying. I mean, the other thing is to try to get an understanding about where people are coming from. You know, it's with registrars and registries. We have contracts with ICANN, so it's fairly clear why we're here, why we're taking the positions that we take. Other groups, if you just walk in, you might find it a little bit confusing. There's all these, there's an acronym soup that would drive anybody to drink, and trying to kind of untangle that and kind of work out, okay, so this is where this particular interest group lives. This is why they've got this particular agenda, and then talk to people.
That's great advice. Thank you so much, Graham and Michaeli, for your time today.
You're most welcome.
No problem, thank you.